KMyMoney is a free and open source finance management software for Linux aimed at making professional finance tools accessible to the average computer user. They claim to be the best personal finance manager for free users, and they are probably right. KMyMoney is at the same time full of advanced features and very easy to use for people without an accounting degree. With KMyMoney, you can import your data directly from your bank website. You can keep track of accounts in different currencies, import from the internet in the click of a button information about currencies or investments, analyze your data from the past, and most importantly, make budgets for the future. To install KMyMoney, take a look at your distribution repositories first. It's probably already there, ready to be installed. Otherwise, take a look at their website at KMyMoney.org. Although KMyMoney was made originally for the KDE desktop, you can run it on many other environments as well. I'm running it here on XFCE, and it's working fine as far as I can tell. The first time you run KMyMoney, you will want to set it up the way that best fits your situation and your needs. I'm going to fill in only some fields, but it's better if you take your time to enter all data correctly. So here I'm going to enter a name only. Then I'm going to choose British pound as main currency. Here I have the option to start creating an account. I'm going to uncheck this option. I'm not going to create an account just now. So we're going to start with the bare minimum and start building up from there. Then we can create some standard accounts. These are basically the way to divide your finance into different categories. So I'm going to choose here the UK just for consistency, and the option that most people will want is this common accounts. Common accounts are, well, the accounts that most people will use. You can see here the tree of categories that comes with this account. Then you also have the option to configure the preferences after finishing this wizard. I'm also going to uncheck this. We're going to start with the default, and we'll see the configurations later on. Then I have to save my file somewhere. I can put it, for example, into my documents. I have to get into, that's it, and into finances. Save. So I'm going to call this finances. Okay, so now I have already my file that is saved. Here is the name of my file. You have to keep special attention with this file because it contains all the information about your money. We're going to see later on this tutorial how to encrypt and protect your file with a password. For now, we're going to leave it like this. On the main window, now you see we are on the home menu on the side, and on the main window you have your financial summary. The financial summary is very good because every time you open KMyMoney, you will see all the information that you need to know about your money. So you have here assets and liabilities summary with your total net worth at the bottom. You have your payment accounts, 90-day forecast for 30, 60, and 90 days, the next 90 days. You have also a graph with the net worth forecast. Also an interesting thing to keep an eye on. And then we have the cash flow summary. Income and expenses, liquid assets and liabilities, and the cash flow status with the expected profit and loss as the bottom line. Very well. Here on the side we have a menu with other options to go into details. So we have institutions, accounts, scheduled transactions, the categories of your accounts, payees are the people to who you pay money, the ledgers to see into details every accounts, investment accounts, reports, budgets, forecast, this is done automatically, and outbox. The outbox is used by online banking module to provide feedback on running processes. So now we have the program is configured. We're going to start entering information and learn more about each option on the sidebar by experimenting. So what we're going to do now is to enter our information, enter our financial information. We're going to follow the order of the menu here on the left sidebar. So we're going to start by adding an institution. An institution are basically the banks in which you have accounts. So I'm going to call this bank 1. Whoops. I can either double click on it to make corrections, or I can also right click and edit the institution. I'm going to take advantage that I'm on this menu, and I'm going to add a new institution here. I'm going to call this Bank 2. And that's all you have to do to add a new institution. Now let's create an account into these institutions. So I come here to the new account button. I can select an institution, or I can eventually create a new institution here. I'm going to call this my checking account A. This account is of type checking. It is in British pounds. Its opening date is on 1st January 2015. And the opening balance is £1,000. It's under current assets, and that's it. I have now my checking account A created. I'm going to create also a savings account for Bank 2. So this is a savings account B. I'm going to select the savings account type. I'm going to give an opening balance of £5,000. You can also use this button here on the side if you want to, for example, I want to add 200 to the amount that I already have there. I can do this easily with the calculator. You also have the date picker here. This one is going to be under assets, and now I also have a savings account created. Let's go now to scheduled transactions. We're going to create two scheduled transactions, one for expenses, one for income. So this is a salary. It happens once a month. It is a deposit. It goes to my checking account A, and it comes from it comes from my company. When I validate this, KMyMoney asks me if I want to add my company as a payer, and I'm going to say yes. So let's keep editing it. The category is salary. I have a category for this, and let's say the amount is £1,900. Here it is. Now I'm going to create also rent. Also happens once a month. The payment method is bank transfer, also to checking account A. I'm going to pay this to Mr. Joe. Again, I'm going to add Mr. Joe as a receiver. Where is it? Rent. I'm going to double click again to keep editing. I'm going to search for rent. I don't see any rent category, so I'm going to browse it. And under utilities I can see things related to the house. I'm going to put this under utilities, and it's 400 £400 per month. Okay. On the salary I didn't put the payment method, so let me put it to bank transfer as well. Now let's go to categories, and let's create a category for the rent expense. So we put our rent under utilities, but we want a category that is just for rent. So I'm going to right click and select new category. I'm going to call this rent. It is of type expense, and under the hierarchy I'm going to put this in the root expenses. You have also your income categories. You can add also other incomes if you have other incomes. That's the basic principle, the same way as I added the rent category. On the payees we have already added Mr. Joe and my company. On the payees menu we can add more information like address matching. We'll see later on. We can also add other payees. So for example I'm going to put here mom. Now mom is a payee. Under ledgers we can see every account we have in detail. So here we are seeing the credit card. There's nothing there. We can go to checking account A, and we'll see that we opened it with an opening balance of £1,000. We have the salary coming in and the rent going out. You can see they're grayed out, and I can see them here, but I cannot edit them because these are scheduled transactions. So you have to go to the scheduled transactions to edit them. Here you can create new transactions that will not be scheduled. So for example, I had to pay extra parking fees, so I'm going to pay to the parking. I'm going to add parking as a receiver. It is of category parking. Is there a category parking? Yes. And let's say I paid £20 for extra parking time fee. Then I enter it, and now the parking is there. Let me change the date. Let me say this happened last week. I enter it, and now I can see clearly on my ledgers what happened last week. Those are last week transactions, and these are today transactions. And you can do the same things for every account. We also have the savings account that has an opening balance. Under investments accounts, we don't have anything yet because we haven't created investment accounts. So let's go and create a new account. I'm also going to demonstrate here how to create new institutions. So this is an investment bank. and this is an investment account. The account type is of course investment. This time I'm going to choose US dollars, and I can get online quotes. We're going to see about conversion of different currencies a little bit later. I'm going to also create a brokerage account associated with this, also in US dollars, and this comes under current assets. Now we can see not only the investment account but also the checking account and the cash in wallet. This is because here on top we have selected all current assets, and I'm going to see only the investment account. That is now empty. So let's trade some securities. So just right click on the blank space and choose new investment. I'm going to select here stock, and now I'm going to search for the security that I want to trade, to buy or sell. To find the trading symbol, you have to go to a website. I went to Yahoo Finance and searched for Red Hat for the demonstration, and I found that Red Hat has the trading symbol RHT. Here I can put whatever I want. This is the name of the company. I think it's like this, Red Hat Inc. On the trading market, I'm going to select New York. It's in US dollars, and the identification is the same as the trading symbol, RHT. So the online source, I have seen it on Yahoo, so I'm going to choose Yahoo. And now I have Red Hat Inc. as an investment under my investment account. You can see that I don't have any price or value for now, but I can get it online. So I can come here on tools and update stock and currency prices. So I can see here a lot of things. I have British pounds to US dollars. I have Red Hat stock exchange from Yahoo, and I have US dollars to British pounds. So since the main currency for my file, for my accounts, all my accounts have a main currency that is the British pound, now that I have added an account in US dollars, I have to do the conversion between one currency and the other. KMyMoney is smart enough to know this and to do this automatically, so I have already everything that I need to update in order to have the information that I want. So now I click OK. I have now the current value and the price of Red Hat from the sources that we have selected, Yahoo New York. And under securities we have also Red Hat that is in our list. This is the basic things you need to know in order to keep track of investments with KMyMoney. Then we have really the best part of KMyMoney, and these are the reports and the budgets. Reports are really essential for you to get an idea of what's going on with your money. So just to get an idea, we're going here to see, for example, income and expenses graph. So here we haven't entered much information, so this is not really very fun to look at, but you can get an idea that you have you have graphs per month. Here this is income and expenses graph that is by year. You can also see the report in numbers, and you can do this for almost everything. You have here the same thing. You can see a chart. It's also very interesting to take a look at the budgeting through the reports. So the monthly budget, for example, you can take a look at really details or having an overview. So let's take a look at the budgets too. So I'm going to add here, I'm going to click on the button to create a new budget. So it's just using the categories that I have by default, and it has created an empty budget. We have 0 expense, 0 income. I can come here and add things manually. Can add here, for example, same salary. So I get my salary, and I can also have, for example, other incomes. It will happen only once a year. It will happen, it's going to be every year. It's about £900, and I save it. Then on my budget, I can say that I will have, for example, I will double my rent. I have an 800 monthly rent. I save it, and that's it. One of the best features of the budget is to take advantage of the information that you have already entered. So here we haven't entered much information, so it's not really going to work very well. But when you enter a lot of information, this really is an invaluable tool to make budgets. When you right click on a budget, you can use the forecast to base a future budget. So what it's going to do is that it's going to keep track of what you are currently spending and earning in order to use it as a base for future, for the budgeting for the future. So the current budget already contains data, but we're going to add it anyway. So let's continue, and since we have added here the rent to the utilities, it has used this, so we can see £4,000 under utilities. But you can get an idea when you have a year of accounts already with all the transactions filled in, and you want to make a budget for the next year. Basing on the forecast is something that really helps you tremendously. Now let's take a quick look at forecast. Forecast is done automatically. You don't have to do anything here. Just take a look. If you're curious to know what's inside, you can change some things. Click here on the forecast button, but you don't have to change this if you don't want to. And also the out box is just to keep track of the transactions, so you almost never use this. Well, we have seen all the options here on the sidebar menu, but up to here we could have done the work easily with a spreadsheet. So what is it that makes KMyMoney a better solution? We will see next some features that spreadsheets don't have. We're going to secure the file with the password. We're going to import data from the bank, and we're going also to manage currencies very easily. So let's start with password protection. I believe this is a primary concern for most people. Fortunately, KMyMoney comes already prepared for this, and it supports the GNU Privacy Guard encryption and password protection. So we're going to take a look at this. So we're going under Settings, Configure KMyMoney. We're going to scroll down under Encryption, and we can see that there is a grayed out option that is Use GPG Encryption. GPG stands for GNU Privacy Guard. But we cannot use this option. This is because we have to create a GPG key first. So let's do that. I'm going to click OK, and we're going to use another program to do that. You can also use the command line. You can also use another software. I'm going to, for this tutorial, I'm going to use a software called Seahorse. Seahorse here is named Passwords and Keys, so this really looks like what I'm looking for. And I can see here at the side of Seahorse that I have PGP keys, and it's the GNU PG keys. I know all this might sound confusing, but the only thing that you need is a GPG key in order for KMyMoney to use. So I'm going to click here on the plus button. I'm going to select this PGP key. The difference between GPG and PGP is that it's a different software, but PGP is pretty good privacy and GPG is GNU Privacy Guard. I know it's confusing, but we're going to use this. Then I click on Continue. I'm going to enter my full name. I'm going to enter my address. I can take a look at the advanced options. I'm going to create a password, and that's it. It's going to create a key for me. Note that nothing happens, nothing appears, because this is very slow. It may take up to 20 minutes, half an hour for your key to appear. So what I'm going to do is that we're going to continue with the tutorial, and we're going to leave the generation of the keys in the background, and we're going to come back to it later. So now that we're taking care of security, let's start to do some serious business with KMyMoney. So what we're going to do is to import data directly from your bank. The first thing you need to do is to export data from your bank's website into a readable format. The most common formats are OFX and QIF. The preferred format is OFX for being newer and supporting a few more features. Many banks support the OFX format. You should search your bank website or ask them directly how to export your data, and particularly if the OFX format is supported. But if not, the QIF format is just fine. All the banks that I know support the format, or one format or the other. It's fine also if you import in one format from one bank and in another format from another bank. That's perfectly fine. To import the data into KMyMoney, you should go into the menu File, Import, and select the format that you want to import from. So here I'm going to import in a KIF format. But I just want to tell you also that there is an external imported, that is the AQ Banking, that proposes many other formats, including OFX. And the native OFX behaves slightly differently from the AQ Banking importer. So you might want to check out these two and see which one works best for you. But for now, I'm going to import a KIF file. So I have a KIF file. I have created a fake account. I'm going to import as a default KIF profile, and I'm going to say this is a bank statement. So this is the file that you import from your bank. I'm going to click on import. I'm going to select the date format. Okay, I can see here the statements. 8 transactions, 8 were added, 0 matched, 0 duplicates, and 8 payees created. So I click on OK, and I'm going to take a look at what I have imported. This is basically the checking account. So 8 transactions were created in my checking account. So let's take a look at it. Just note that here the values are not updated yet, but it will get updated at some point. So this is the, let's take a look at our checking account. Here is not updated as well. Oh, it's not this one. It's this checking account. Sorry, I was looking at the wrong one. Anyway, I have imported a transaction from my bank, and it's saying I have my salary, telephone bills, cloth, taxes, groceries, insurances, public transportation. This is all imported from my bank. Since it was imported automatically, you have to double check it manually. So I come here, yes, I have received my salary, so I accept, and you can see now that it's the color has changed, and I have to go and check one by one. You should never trust these automatic processes, particularly when you're dealing with money. So it's you need to check every transactions. It will help you to have it all, but you should double check always every transaction. You will also notice that not only the color changed, but here on the status it is now cleared, means that it has been accepted. When you enter a transaction in an account, we have entered here parking manually, and we can see that it is not reconciled. So this means I have just entered this amount manually. Now I can edit, and I can change it. I can change it to reconciled, meaning that I have checked it. This, my bank has already charged me those £20, so they're reconciled. This is a way to do it manually. But KMyMoney is pretty good at merging data. So when you import data from your bank, it will merge things that you have entered manually with things that came in automatically, and so the status may be changed to cleared when you import it from your bank. So I have changed here. KMyMoney prompts me to save the changes. I'm going to save the changes. So we have seen here how to export from the bank and import into KMyMoney. But there is another way to do this, is to connect KMyMoney directly to your bank. So we're going here to the accounts menu. We're going to choose the checking account, and I want to map it to an online account. So I have imported from my bank successfully once. I'm going to map to an online account, and I'm going to choose the KMyMoney OFX method. Here it prompts me for an automatic configuration of the direct connect. These are mostly American banks, and I haven't found some important banks here in the list. So what you do if your bank is not in that list is to add it manually. The difficult part here is that there is no standard way to find this information, because every bank has its own way of doing this. Some don't offer this service at all. Others might charge you for the service, and often it's a feature few people know about, so it's also hard to get information about this. But eventually you might be able to import data from the last 60 days directly from KMyMoney, from within KMyMoney, without having to go to your bank's website. Another very nice feature of KMyMoney is managing accounts in different currencies. KMyMoney makes it look really easy to handle. You can see already here on my assets and liabilities that I have every account that has its summary in its native currency, but I have the total assets in the default currency of KMyMoney, in the default currency that I have configured. So the prices, the values in dollars are converted to British pounds. This conversion is done because KMyMoney has downloaded the conversion rate from the internet. Of course, the exchange rates, they change over time, and KMyMoney also keeps track of the changes of the currency rates over time. So every account is in their original currency, but every time that an operation involves two or more currencies, like here the total sum of assets, they are converted to the main currency configured at the beginning. You can also change the main currency if you want at any time very easily, and all other currencies are converted accordingly. So to do this, you can come here and under Tools, Currencies, and this time I'm going to select US dollars. So I want to see, and I select this US dollars as the base currency. Now I close this. Again, the change might not happen immediately, but if you close and reopen KMyMoney, I'm going to save, close, and reopen. Now everything is in dollars. It's that easy to manage different currencies. You have to make sure, though, that you have the correct currencies configured. So you can come here into Prices and select US dollars, and you can see that there is British pound to US dollar and US dollar to British pound. So I have both already configured. This means that when I want to have here an online quote, it will already download for me the information that I want. You can configure here other currencies as well. You can also see your total assets in another currency that is neither pounds nor dollars. For example, I want to see how much I have in euros. You can come here into currencies and select euros. Now what I'll have to do is to convert everything into euros. And it's not going to work if I haven't configured it. So I come here into Tools, Prices, and I'm going to search for euro. So I want now three currencies to be able to convert. So I need from US dollar to euro. That's it. I also want British pound. So British pound to euro. And I also want the other way around. I want from euro to British pound, and also from euro to US dollars. Now I can have my online quotes for every currency. I'm going to update everything. And now I should be able to see everything in euro. Here it is. So you can see that it is very, very easy to manage different currencies with KMyMoney. Just as a side note, I have told already how important it is to set a correct opening date for an account, because this will also help KMyMoney to import currency rates for the given dates. So if in one account you have a transaction that involves two different currencies at a given date, KMyMoney will download the information about the currency rates for that date. So dates are important all the time when you're dealing with money in general and in KMyMoney, of course. Alright, so I don't know if you have noticed, but when I closed KMyMoney before, I have seen that our keys were generated. I can see here my Idylix GPG key. So now I can go and configure the password protection for my file. So I'm going back here into Settings, Configure KMyMoney, under Encryption, and you can see now that I can use GPG encryption. So I'm going to click this. There is an alert telling you what you need to do, and we're going to do this together in this tutorial. So what we need to do basically is to select a key. So we're going to select the key we just created. I'm going to apply this, and in order to not interfere with the current file, this encryption is not currently being applied. So what you need to do is to click OK, then come to the File menu and save this as a different file. So I'm going to call this Finances Secure, or Finances Encrypted, for example. And here I go. Now, as I'm saving this, it's alerting me about a potential problem in the investment account that I have created. I'm going to ignore this for now. So now again, it's alerting me that this is encrypting, and that is, if you lose your password, you lose all your information. Okay, so now I'm on an Finances Encrypted file. So let's do a test. I'm going to close the file. I'm going to open it again. So here into Documents, Finances, and Finances Encrypted. And sure enough, it prompts me for a password and nothing is shown unless I enter my password. And of course, if I forget my password, I lose all the information that is inside. So that's why the original file is not encrypted. So you can test the encrypted file, see if it's working fine for you, and then delete the unencrypted files. Finally, another important topic is how to create backups, and this fortunately is very easy. You just come here to the File menu and select Backup. It will prompt you for a location. I'm going to put it in the same directory for now. You can do this in an external drive, it would be much better. I'm going to click OK, and the file was successfully backed up. So let's take a look at the file. I'm going to go under Documents, Finances, and I have now a file with today's date appended to the name. This is my backup file, but my original file keeps being the one without the date appended to it. Another note about doing backups: just do not use the backups in order to start a blank file every year. It's best to keep the same file year after year in order to have access to all financial data for statistics and forecasts. So use the backups just to keep this information safe, but do not start over every year with a blank sheet as you would normally do with a spreadsheet file. Well, this is all you need to know about the software to manage a fairly wide range of financial situations. There are things now that you need to know and learn about accounting and self-organization now in order to keep all this data fresh and to keep advantage of all the information that you will have through KMyMoney. If I may suggest, for example, the Pomodoro technique in order to take short spans of time in which you do some boring tasks, like, for example, filling in your financial information. I'll put a link to the Pomodoro technique, and I recommend it very much together with KMyMoney. Thank you very much for following this tutorial. I hope you liked it. I hope you will find this useful. And thanks again for following. See you next time.